Sweet.
right now.
I got some accidental product placement in there.
Nothing wrong with that. You have that product placement all in your office.
Yeah, that's true. Empty cans all over the place.
All right, so
Product placement in there.
mute that. Let's go to the forums. What's up, guys? It's your community manager here, joined by the God himself, the Key God.
Yeah, the key god. I'm the key god.
Yeah.
At least I'm the god of keys.
Yes, the creative director, Mark. Now, we're going to be talking about early access.
Yep.
And what that means. We literally just went live.
Just happened on Steam like moments ago.
Yeah, literally. So we're going to talk about this. Obviously, we figured there would be a lot of questions about early access, what this means for the game, and what this means for the community. So what I did was made a thread, and you guys can ask questions while we have this up. I'll actually put this on this screen. That way it looks a little bit better for us. But you guys can ask us questions about
pretty much anywhere, right?
Yeah.
We'll switch around and just see what smart questions people are asking.
So let's go ahead and go. We are in the forums right now. So I'll basically read off. Where's it at? Ask your questions about early access. So the very first question we got was from Renegade Zero, who asked, "What does early access represent? Okay. I'm not familiar. Do you have to pay to gain access?"
Got it. Okay, so. All right, so early access is a thing through Steam where what you basically do is it's kind of a little bit like Kickstarter. It's kind of like getting in on the beta. So what the program does is before a game is actually ready to completely launch, there's an early access program where you can get in and you can pay to have early access to that game. Right. So they'll let you in. And we looked at this and we saw some other games doing it. We said this is probably a good idea because if we wait until we're fully ready for open access, for open beta, to let everybody in, that might be a long time. Like we're waiting until it's ready to go open for everybody. Right. So in the in-between zone, this was a really good program we could use where through Steam people could get early access and come and join it before we're fully ready to open it up to everybody in the entire world. And then along with that, you get little bundles, and we even got some cool exclusive stuff up there for people who want to come in and jump in on the early access.
Okay. So Ace Gamer said, when is early access starting? That is literally today, as of right now. Are early accessors considered as beta testers?
Well, you're in the beta period. We haven't opened it up yet, and so to some extent our community is really good beta testers. Like when you say beta tester, depending upon who you are, sometimes you picture like being part of a community and checking out the game and giving a lot of support, which is what we got. Some people have got a different view of what that means, that it's like a crashy, buggy game and they're frustrated. So it's not that. Like we've got a lot of people playing the game a lot. Right. Sometimes the game breaks, but most of the time we got a great game that everybody's being able to go in and play. Right. So if what you mean by am I a beta tester, if what you mean is you get to talk to the devs, you get to try out new maps and new game modes, you get to talk to us about weapon balance and stuff you like, you get to talk to the rest of the community, yeah, you're a beta tester.
Right. All right, so what I'm going to do really quick.
And are we handing out those jackets? We're still giving out the jackets, right? The hoodies?
Yeah, the hoodies.
Yeah, so before we open it up, like everybody who plays the game before we actually open up the game, because we're in beta, you also get an exclusive hoodie, and people who have kind of joined the exclusive club before this, already have it, but we're also giving it to people who come in on early access. So it's an exclusive in-game hoodies that you can wear to kind of show off that you helped develop the game when it was still new and still developing.
Oh, it's Ty. I was like, what is
Ty and a giant poster.
I was looking for this poster before the stream. If you guys have gone to PAX East, RTX, or I think we might have even had it at QuakeCon. I'm not sure.
Oh, look at that. We are so pro now.
But look at that. We look.
Yeah, it's real.
We look pretty badass now. So, yeah, this room has been designated for some live streams for community talk, which we're going to do every Monday, and the Friday live stream with the community that I did last week. So this is that room, and I was waiting to kind of get some stuff. So.
Got first item.
Yeah.
Boom, right in here.
All right. So
Tesla noob.
Ace Gamer also has some questions regarding the beta itself. He says, will Loadout undergo constant feature adding as other free-to-play games? Content added.
Yep. So I mean that's good, and let's break it up two different ways the way he did there. So it's features and then content.
Right.
So content-wise, we've got maps, we've got game types, and when I talk about game types, there's kind of tweaking game types and making it work well with the map, and then there's whole new game types.
Right.
We're doing both of those. So a whole new game type, kind of the way we're approaching it, it's going to be a big feature actually, because we're talking about doing competitive play, where you've got to earn the right to go and play competitive play, a new game mode, party system with that, clan rentals. Like there's a whole thing about tournament play along with a new game mode. That's a whole new feature that we're working on.
Right.
And then separate from that, we also got a constant stream of weapon parts, maps that the community has tested and said they like playing is being pushed into art, and so the art is being done on that.
Right.
And then, of course, customization pieces and a whole new character. So, yeah, we've got constant content coming through, and we've got a giant list of features that everybody wants, and it's just a matter of, like, how quick can we do them and in what order. One of the things really hot on our list, aside from just like constant weapon balancing, one of the things that's really hot on our list is this tournament mode and parties and clans and server support and all that stuff. So that's right now that's what's hot on everybody's list, other than, you know, getting to open.
So let's see. Will the live stream be gameplay? This is not gameplay, so this is going to be this format. When I do community talks,
our pretty faces. Yes,
it'll be us talking. I think next week we're going to try to get the legend Ian Villeman.
Sweet.
So this will be the format for Mondays. I'll see who's available, and I'm just going to drag them in, and you guys can ask them questions. What is the new game mode? I
just talked about it some. Ian, in one of our previous streams, talked a little bit about what that was and some of his notes on it. Really, the fastest way to sum it up is, one, it's still being developed. It's being developed in a lot of different ways. But it's looking at different weapons and equipment and roles that you could play and making it so that we play a 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 type game that has got a lot of room for roles and a meta strategy and weapons that really feel like this weapon is doing this one particular thing really well. And I like this weapon because in this situation, in this role, I'm being able to be whatever that is, a killer, a tank, a support. I'm being able to hold this area, whatever the heck it is.
Fortify thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's see. Matt Style asks, when are you going to be able to finally show off Helga? That's a question pretty much for Danny.
That's Danny. Like, and I guess part of what we got going on is there's Rob is probably the closest we got to one guy who calls all the shots, but we don't really have one guy who calls all the shots on the team. I mean, seriously. Like Rob, you know, is owner of the company and he's leading the charge and everything, but there's even some parts where he knows that he should respect, you know, like Danny's opinion on when something's ready. So really, Danny and the artist have a lot of control over when they think the art is ready. And that's part of what makes the game so great, is because these guys who know what they're doing get to say, no, I'm not ready yet. So honestly, when is Helga ready? When those guys think it's ready.
Right.
And, you know, we to find out more about what's in their head, we could talk to Danny about it. But I can't tell you what's in Danny's head right now about Helga.
What he did say, I think it was last week's stream, or the week before, is that Helga is walking around.
Sweet.
So,
good.
Take that for what it's worth. He said Helga is walking around. Is Loadout available on Steam, and what is early access?
So yeah, so right now, all right. So guys who already know about the game and are already in it and already beta testers, there's not much new for you to know about. Right. There's one thing that we could talk about, which is the Name-A-Bot.
Name-A-Bot.
Which is a new feature for the beta guys, but if you're already in the game, if you knew about Loadout and were playing it and in there playing it before this early access, you're already in. So you don't need to know anything other than the fact that hopefully a lot more people will be coming into the game.
Yes.
If you are new to Loadout and somebody gave you a pointer to it, or you've been waiting for beta key and haven't got one yet, what you need to know is you can go to Steam. Our lowest one is $20. Mm-hmm. For $20, you're into the beta immediately. You don't have to wait. And you get a $20 bundle that includes way more than $20 worth of stuff.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much what everybody needs to know about this thing. If you've been waiting to play Loadout If you just heard about Loadout, if you've got friends who you want to tell about Loadout, this is now the opportunity for anybody to get in and start playing it immediately.
Right. So I'm going to kind of rephrase this question, and that one was from Freaking 2142. Now, Streak 1...
Hold on for just a sec. So Conrad asked, what's the name of bot threshold for previous testers? All right, so right now, a brand new player who's never played any Loadout before, just now heard about it, are kind of... Our top tier, founders pack has got a Kickstarter type incentive, exclusive incentive with it, which is if you buy the $90 pack, $90, then you get to name a bot. And so one of the bots in there that plays co-op and plays practice, that bot will come up in rotation for everybody who always plays the game forever. Right. So your name or the name of a loved one or whatever will be on that bot, and that bot will be named that for the lifetime of Loadout. And everybody around the world who plays the game gets to see and basically shoot at you and get killed by you and fight against your version of your bot.
Right.
Okay? So people who are already in the game, like we're not saying go and spend $90 if you're interested in this feature. If you're already in the game and you previously spent money on Loadout, we're going to set the threshold, I think, somewhere around $60-ish, like 69 is I think we were talking about.
Okay.
But honestly, if people are like in 63 or 64, I'm going to give them to them anyhow. Like, we're going to be cool about it. So if you've already spent somewhere in the 60-ish range of money on Loadout by buying packs and stuff, then you're automatically going to get included in the name of bot.
Okay.
If you're relatively new to Loadout or you just now heard about it and you think the game's awesome and it's worth 90 to kind of like be memorialized in the game forever, then we've got a $90 pack you can get.
Are we going to put a cap on this? And this is what, remember I talked to you about this. So if there's a follow-up question, I think the follow-up question is, what's the limit on when you guys are going to stop taking names for bots?
Oh, I see. Yeah. So what was the number that I said before? Because
I think it was like 1,000.
Like 1,000. So at that point, we've probably got so many names that there would be. We don't want too many names in that list because then nobody would ever see it come up.
Right.
But if once the Loadout starts getting big and it starts rolling, if there's 1,000 names in the hopper and they're constantly being used, your name's going to come up a lot.
Right.
So we figured somewhere around 1,000 is probably what we're looking for here.
Yeah. So there's the answer to that question in case it pops up.
All right, so we've got. I thought this game was going to be free. It absolutely is. So let me, and I'll explain a little bit about what's the difference between early access and a free-to-play game. So our game is free-to-play, and when we're ready to go open, it will be free-to-play. So if you're cool with just waiting, that's fine. Like you can wait.
On that.
You can wait. Now I don't know when it's going to be ready and where we're going to throw the gates open. We're not ready for it right now. Like if we went open today, bad things would happen, and we don't want that.
Right.
And it's not quite ready yet. There's major features that we still want to have there before we announce to the world this is it. This is Loadout. Boom. It's a super solid game right now. There's just one or two things we want before we're completely ready for the launch.
Okay.
So this early access is an opportunity to let people who want to come in and immediately get in to buy a starter bundle, and then you're in the beta.
Right.
Okay, so it's still a free-to-play game. We're just this in-between zone between we're not quite ready for everybody to come in and open. We're using early access as a way for people who really want to play the game can come in and play it.
Exactly. Someone says this is Google. Sorry, you get any goodies for early access? So
yeah.
I can pull it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's pull it up.
So our starter bundles give you a lot of stuff that you can play with. And then you get space bucks, and you get more space bucks than you would normally get for the amount of money. Like we always throw in extra. And then in addition to that, excuse me, everybody who goes in is also going to get the beta hoodie that shows that you've been a tester. So you get a free kind of years from now when this game is kicking up and everybody's playing it, you're going to be one of the few people with the beta hoodie who can actually say, I'm OG.
I've been here from the
beginning. Exactly. So that's cool. And then we've also got various pieces in there and XP doublers. The exact things are given on our website and also on the Steam Early Access. We'll tell you exactly what you get at each price point.
Okay. So some pretty specifics. The first pack is called the Pain Bringer.
I'm like this without caffeine, by the way. This is not just the Mountain Dew.
The second is the Absolute Badass Pack. The third is the Founders Pack. So you get Space Bucks.
Founder's badge. That's a good thing to talk about.
What
as well.
will the Founder's badge be like, by the way? Well, I've
we can at
only
least just mention the Founder's badge. I've only seen some
I've
concepts
only
of
seen
it.
placeholder art for it. So basically, when you pull up the scoreboard or you're in game, there's a badge by your name. I don't know which one we're going with. I know there's like an Axel-looking dude one. That's like gold-plated. So I mean, honestly, I don't know which one.
They've been trying out different things, and there might be different options.
So it's really hard for me to tell you what it's going to be, but I know that we're very close to finalizing it.
And then once again, the artists and this is user interface stuff, so this is UI team as well, are all working together to make sure that it looks good, it stands out right, it's not confusing, it's special when you look at it. So they're working to get that thing right when it's right.
To add to that, just to let you know how meticulous they are, the scoreboard didn't go out because the Founder's badge didn't look right.
Didn't look right on it.
So, they really care about how the whole style and art is in it. So, that's pretty important stuff. So, with the Painbringer pack, you get Space Bucks, and this is pretty much the same for each one. Each one adds a little bit more to this. So, Space Bucks, XP boost. You get 4 weapons. You get the grenade launcher, healing pulse, Tesla shotgun, and a clothing pack with 6 items. That's the Painbringer. The Absolute Badass pack is Space Bucks, even more. Tier 1 item parts, all of them.
Yep.
An extra 7 days of XP boost, so that's 14 total. And then you get more cosmetic items and a special elite badge. And then the Founders pack is all that stuff, plus the Name a Bot feature. And you get more Space Bucks, 21 days to EXP boost, and then Edge of Reality's Undying Love. We love you forever. So that is Ghoul's first question. He says, also, will beta participants get those automatically, or would we have to get early access in addition? So includer, starter pack, early access, and or vice versa. So I think he's basically asking if they've already bought in, what do they get, if anything? Okay,
so if you're a pre-early access player, like, we need names for these guys. So if you're like OG or if you're super OG,
if you're alpha beta,
there you go.
OG.
And so if you're somebody who's already played Loadout before and you got one of the free beta keys and you were in the game earlier, you've always had access to the starter packs inside the game,
right? And
so you have access to the same sort of deals. The only thing you don't have access to is that $90 pack with
the Name a Bot.
The Name a Bot. So that's why. And my understanding is, short of making you go out and buy the $90 thing, it's hard to give that, like, activate it for beta guys, like, to give them the option to buy that.
Yeah.
Because we don't have support for it in game right now. It's a Steam exclusive. So what we did in order to make up for that is that if you've already bought a bunch of stuff in game and you've already gotten to 60 some odd bucks, 69 is the threshold. But again, I'll be cool and give people who are close to it. We'll give them the Name a Bot.
Magic number 69.
Yes. Yeah.
You are with me, and I hang out with Ty and Ian, so you had to expect that.
Yeah, no problem. I've completely derailed everything like that I was talking about there. Then you'll get the Name a Bot. Okay. So that's the way that the pre-beta guys can get Name a Bot. If we've got somebody and you already know you've spent like 50 some odd bucks, and you want to chip in another 20 in order to get a Name a Bot, like, talk to us. Like, we'll handle that sort of stuff on a case-by-case basis. Right. If you're really jazzed by Name a Bot and you don't want to, and you're a pre-OG beta guy and you've spent money on the game and you're really jazzed by Name a Bot, talk to us and we'll find out what we should do in order to get that hooked up for you.
Okay. Here's some good questions from Kerna Tahada.
Haja.
Kern. That's what
Kern. Yeah, his name's Kern. That guy's name's Kern.
All right. How long will early access roughly last?
So right now, our best guess, like, I've been doing game dev a while, right? So every time you say a date that something comes out, there's some, like, imp that makes sure that you don't hit that date. That's just the way it works in game dev.
Some of the old OGs probably already know. Like, we've
said so many dates, and it's like, no, it's never.
We're not saying any more dates anymore.
It's because, look, we can say we're waiting until it's ready. We're okay. Like, we're not having to rush this thing out or anything.
Right.
Everything's cool. So we can say basically we're waiting until stuff is right before we're letting it out. And so the real answer is early access is going to last until we feel like we can say everybody in the world can come play this game. It's totally ready for prime time. We want all the media outlets to review it and get even more people coming in and playing it. Like, we're fully ready.
Right.
We're not there yet. How long is that going to take? Right now, our guess is sometime during summer. So how's that for vague? Sometime during summer.
Sometime
during summer in the northern hemisphere. There, I can narrow it down some for you.
Oh man. All right. So the live stream that's going on now, I think I answered that in the stream. When is the next update about to hit? So that would be V3.0. We're probably a couple weeks out.
Yep.
A couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Letty, will those who got the absolute badass get the founder pack to a lower price? He basically answered that.
So he says he's already spent 40. He's interested in getting the name a bot.
Right.
We'll talk to you guys. Everybody who's kind of in the 40 to 60-ish range and is really interested in name a bot, let's talk. Right. Normally, like I say, it's going to be 90. We're bringing it down to 69 for dudes who played before. If you're in the 40 range and you're super interested, let's talk about how to get that done.
Cover OP says, can you show pictures and gameplay of stuff that you are currently working on? This time I'm not talking about Cryo. My hunter is sated after the latest video. So with some of that stuff,
kind of more our pretty faces. So we've got a stream coming up on Wednesday. So go ahead and plug the stream.
So every Wednesday we do our Loadout dev live stream. That is gameplay. That is showing off new features. That is showing off pictures, screenshots of upcoming costumes, outfits, all that stuff for following builds or upcoming builds. What we try to do is always show off something new in those streams. So that's typically when you'll see those on Wednesdays. And every now and again, I'll maybe post some teasers in the forums, or Ty will post some teasers in the forums. But for the most part, on Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, that's an hour before this started, is when we hold our Loadout developer live streams. I actually think the schedule is on the Twitch page.
Yep.
So if you look at the schedule, you see
it'll tell you how much time is until the next one.
So that's answer that question. We're currently working on a number of parts. We showed off. We have the bioscanner, Cryo, and X-ray scope.
Yep.
So those are 3 things that you guys can expect relatively soon. How many costumes do you have right now?
Man, we get a ton of pieces, and they're all like mix and match. So I don't know if the question is how many different costumes could you make, which is billions, or how many different pieces do we have right now? And I'm not even sure the answer on that one. I've seen a lot of creative costumes inside the game. So I guess I should know this number, but like it's constantly being added and juggled around all the time. I'd have to go back and look at my spreadsheet. So
10 new parts last build.
Yeah. I don't know. We're adding stuff to it all the time.
I don't know.
Can we see some sort of buff or useless? Yeah, okay. So weapon balancing is an ongoing thing, and I think I saw Albino Gorilla in the chat.
Maybe I should get him on next week instead of Ian.
He would be an interesting dude to talk to too, although he's just going to get sad the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Because he's going to be like, oh, fine, I'll nerf everything. So I do help out Albino Gorilla with some of the data handling. He's been handling most of it, like big time. I've been doing some analysis for him recently. The most recent wave I did, we've definitely got some pieces that we know already. It's basically just confirmed what Walter already knew, what Albino Gorilla already knew. Which is that shotguns are a bit OP, and we need to look at that, and that there's a lot of pieces that nobody's using, and the people who do try to use them aren't very effective. So what we're probably looking to do is, if something really, really is OP, tap it down a little bit, and there's not many things in that category. But mostly what we're focusing on is finding all the pieces that nobody's using because they stink, and finding a way to make them useful again.
Right.
So that's kind of the big part of what Albino Gorilla's got facing him in the near term.
And there's a lot of pieces, so yes.
He goes crazy. I mean, he's already completely crazy. This is it's like a Cthulhu level of insanity that he has to deal with.
Let's see here. Comrade Black, early access make people who purchase it more sexually attractive.
Yes.
Yes,
I am living proof of that. Move on.
Currently, the company is focusing pretty heavily on early access and open beta stuff, meaning a lot of work is being put into things which may not be entirely evident to the player. Can we expect any new weapon parts or payloads soon in order to give us players something more tangible?
So the most immediate tangible thing is going to be the Cryo.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to ask about timeline on that. Would you know anything? I saw Albino Gorilla using it today. So you can ask him in the chat. Just ask him there in the chat, like when that thing's going to be ready.
So here's the conversation
just to make his life even more hell.
Thomas Bonner, who was mentioned in the Frag Nation video.
Yep.
Was it Thomas?
No. You're talking about the artist, right?
Artist. Yeah.
Thomas Coles,
not Thomas Bonner. I was looking.
Thomas Bonner is the guy who makes levels.
Yeah.
Thomas Coles is our technical artist who does a whole bunch of the special effects and works with the weapon teams in order to get that system working.
So Thomas Coles, I get those two confused all the time. Anyway, they were over there testing Cryo, and Albino Gorilla happens to sit right next to me. So of course I get up.
Of course you get up and look at it. You're like, hey, what's this?
Look, hey, what's this? And my first question is, can we show off this off on the live stream on Wednesday? And he sounded uncertain, but he
promised us it would be ready.
Yeah, he didn't give a definitive answer, but it is coming very soon. Like, I want to say we could probably show it off in the next couple weeks, if not this upcoming stream, maybe the next stream, maybe the one after that.
Yep.
It's somewhere, I think, in about a 2-week window we can show it off. I don't know how close it is to being out in the wild, but it's really close to being shown off. So that'll be really close. X-ray is really close, and the bioscanner is really close. And then I've also talked to Walter about the heat sinks for beams.
Yep.
And he's talking about just throwing those in there without
beams was definitely another area where we needed to boost those things up. And Walter definitely has got plans for that, and thinking that a lot of the things, adding additional parts to it, is going to help it out. And you're saying now that we think we're ready to kind of go with an alpha sort of system in order to get some play test on it.
Yeah,
which I think is a great idea.
Again, I think it'd be really good.
D-Stage wants a level reset, or he'll cut us in our sleep.
That's okay.
What do you have to say about that?
He's not going to cut me.
No,
he's not going to cut me.
People know my real name. He could find out where I live. I'm a little worried now.
Maybe we should take that off. The bad thing is, you go by Mark now in the game.
I go by Mark now everywhere. Okay, ever since like 1980, whatever it is, when I first started doing bulletin boards, I've always used my real name on the internet. So yeah, like if you search for my name, you can find some weird stuff that I've not like.
Hey, let's
nothing illegal, just like strange nerdy things that I've been involved with.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to research what things you can find on Mark Now and then post them in the forums.
That's great. That's great. I just stepped into that one, didn't
I? So, Comrade Black also asks, are there any plans for testing new weaponry in larger partial environment before introduction to the main game? We've actually talked about doing this either in like the beta tab, possibly, or maybe making a hidden playlist where these things are all available. I have been bringing that up. That is a very tangible thing that we can do. I'll get back to you on that specific one.
Spider-Man games. Yes, that is correct.
How's the tournament mode coming along? You touched on that earlier in the stream.
As far as I know, what we got going is we've got some solid ideas, and Thomas Bonner is working on the first pass of what a level would look like that would take advantage of the new gameplay, tactical, strategy ideas.
Okay.
So, big fat warning, just because he's laying out a level doesn't mean we're anywhere near anything. Like, it's going to take a lot of internal iteration, just like making something. And I'll do a little mini rant on game design. Like, anybody out there who wants to make games, make games. There's a lot of stuff you can use to make it, like Game Maker and all kinds of stuff to make games. The first thing you're going to discover is that making a game is making something, finding out how shitty it is, and then fixing the shitty parts. Like, I'm not even joking. There's no such thing as like, I'm going to write down this perfect game and then I'm going to make it and now it's beautiful. It just doesn't happen unless you're super lucky. It's you make something, you go, oh my God, this is shitty, and then you fix it. And as you're fixing it, you steer it towards something that's awesome.
Right.
So, Thomas Bonner's making a first level. No offense to Thomas, it's going to suck. And he knows that. Like, he's a professional. And that's why you got to get it done and get it tested as quickly as you can.
Right.
And then when you think you got something that only semi-sucks, then you bring in the community and say, hey, you guys start playing it and tell us all about it, find out what it's good at, and then that's how things get made good.
Right.
It's like chunk of coal, and you shine it enough and it becomes a diamond, hopefully.
Never. If user-created content is introduced in the future, how will you handle royalties? Loadout singular currency seems like it could cause some issues. Rob has touched on this on and
Yeah,
on.
the whole single currency thing. So the single currency thing we're doing is different than a lot of games do, and that sometimes that causes some misperceptions. We're sticking with it for now, and I'll tell you why. What we've got is a lot of other games will give you two currencies. There's one currency you earn in-game, and there's one currency that you cannot get unless you pay money. We are not doing that. Okay,
Right.
We've got a single currency. So anybody who wants to play this game and does not want to pay us a cent can do that. Now, I understand we're talking about early access right now, and we're asking for money for early access, but there's plenty of free beta players, and when we go open, the game is going to be free to play.
Right.
So the idea is that free players have got to have a great time. They've got to be able to play the game. They've got to feel like they don't have an unfair disadvantage because they didn't pay us money. That's like super serious a goal of ours. So we're not putting in a second currency that's a money-only currency in order to like gate off an entire portion of the game to people who are free players. I think that sucks. I guess we might have to do it at some point just like because people are used to that and they get confused.
Right.
But the way the game works right now is you play the game, you get spins on the wheel, we give you free stuff, we give you free currency, you earn stuff as you level up, sometimes you earn currency as you level up. Everything that's in the game you've got a shot at earning just by playing the game. And I like that. I think a lot of people who play the game like that part of it, and I don't want to ever lose that.
Right.
So that's where we're at.
Oh, that's in the wrong section.
So we don't use beta keys anymore, by the way. That's
I need a beta key.
not
Someone just
that's not a thing that we're doing now because we're letting early access give us the stream of players that we need in order to maintain the game and keep the community alive and vibrant until we're ready to super throw it open.
So I'd say any beta keys that are out there, I honestly don't know.
Beta keys that are out there still work.
They still work.
But we're not salting the earth with beta keys the way that we used to be.
Like I said, this is early access, so you guys, if you're interested in it, you will have to visit us on Steam.
And we've got other things to give out in the live stream.
Yes, we will have on Wednesday. We should have several exclusive T-shirts to give out that have not. Well, a couple of them have been given out, but for the most part, you'll only be able to get access to these on the stream.
Right.
And these will cycle throughout each week. So every Wednesday, if you tune in, you will get exclusive in-game items.
And I'll be handing out keys there, but then those keys will be used in the store in-game, and it'll unlock an item that you get then for free.
So you will want to tune in on Wednesdays for that.
Yep.
Let's see here.
And that was Jung asked about store codes. So that will be the store codes on Wednesday. This week, we hope so, yes. I would put that as a 85% chance. I will take odds on it at 6-1 4. If anybody wants to bet.
He's a betting man. I'm not. You know me. I like to win.
You like the sure thing. I know.
I don't take chances.
I'm a gambling man.
All right. So Jason says, "I've been a lot of fun. I do have a few questions for you guys. I know people have been asking for the ability to play with friends and stay on the same team. I actually like the current system in that you don't run into as many pub stomp pre-mades. Groups of friends sometimes have to play against each other, which I think is great.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
this is not exactly what
this
I
is
thought.
not where I thought it was going, and
Yeah.
this is actually a very thoughtful sort of note here. Okay, so Jason's point is that if you get together with a bunch of friends and you're able to stay on the same team, then you can just go pub stomping, and that seems like it's kind of harmful to the game.
Right.
That being able to get into the same game room with friends, and sometimes being on their team or sometimes against them, as the game tries to like balance the teams, is cool and interesting and good for the game. That actually tends to be my angle as well, but I know a lot of people out there really, really want to play with their friends.
Right.
So when we do the tournament mode thing, we're going to be spending a lot of time thinking about exactly how to make that happen so that people who are really serious about playing as a team and learning as a team, so kind of like League of Legends or any other serious team-based game. I used to play some competitive Team Fortress back in the day, so I know what it's like to be with a competitive clan and want to practice with the same guys and have a strategy you guys use. Like that's awesome. I love doing that sort of stuff. So we want to support that, but at the same time we want it to be so that the more casual games seem like they're fair and people aren't getting this experience where they're just getting stomped 4 times in a row and they leave, because that's not good for anybody. So I totally agree with a lot of the stuff Jason's saying there. We need to find a way to kind of serve all of that.
Right. What does EOR have planned as far as anti-cheat measures go? Can we expect Punk Buster or something else? I think that's a good question for not only early access, but beforehand. And we actually had our first hack.
Did we really?
Not too long ago, someone showed something where they had unlimited ammo,
bunch
of stuff,
all right.
And we already basically addressed that. So I think if anyone tries that, you don't want to try that, basically.
No,
I think Rob posted it on the forums. You don't want to try that right now.
You get caught quick.
And
let me talk a little bit on the Punk Buster. So we have our own engine. This is Edge of Reality's game engine. So we're not using anybody else's. It's ours. So there are some solutions we can use that help. And we've got a lot of stuff in there right now, but we're also having to kind of find what's best for the game itself, for our game, in order to prevent cheating. Right now, any of you out there that are playing the game and you suspect anything fishy, and in fact anything at all that goes on in the game, F7 is your friend. So, and in fact, even the beta's jacket says F7 on it, because F7 is the key you hit that takes a screenshot, opens up a dialogue, you can type anything you want in, and I'm telling you right now, it gets handled on this side. Like, if you mention something to me or Arctic here in the chat, sometimes we forget, at least I do. If you F7, that goes to somebody whose job it is to figure out how to sort it and who to send it to.
Right.
So F7s, we take it real seriously, and you as the community can then communicate to us in a very reliable manner, just like a member on the dev team would. Like, that stuff goes straight in the same pipe. So if you suspect somebody's cheating, hit F7, type in what you know about it, and then we can then bring up the server logs and all the data in order to find out what happened. Let me tell you right now, though, a lot of what people think is cheating nowadays is either somebody who's damn good at the game, or something happens out of sync where somebody's been able to kill people on their machine and the server says, hey, he killed him, and then on your machine he's nowhere to be found.
Right.
And that's just a server error. That's our bad. That's not somebody hacking. That's just something that happens rarely. The last time I even saw it happen was weeks and weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, somebody had the
invisible bug.
Yeah,
it's something that crops up every once in a while. So if you suspect somebody's hacking, please report it to us. Don't necessarily hassle people in game about hacking, because a lot of times they're just a really good player.
And be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Be careful what you say. I'm watching you.
We are trying to have a community that enjoys playing and can engage in some friendly trash talk, but is respecting. Whoa, dude, that's scary. But is respecting each other. So please continue that.
All right. Let me see here. You are system restricted. All right, we addressed that as a tournament.
And by the way, when we do catch people who are hacking, it's bad news. Like people who hack, people who are constantly typing racist stuff into chat or hassling other players, don't like what happens. It's not a good idea.
Here's a different spin on that, because some guys will hack and then they'll say, "Hey, this is a security breach."
Oh, sure.
And those guys,
we even give them free stuff.
Right.
Like that's a totally different thing. Yeah. If you're hacking just to make other people's lives miserable, that's different than if you're hacking in order to expose a weakness and you're making us do something about it.
Right.
That second thing, you're awesome and we love you.
Right.
The first thing, get the hell out of my game.
Yeah. You're not welcome. Now this guy asked about tournament mode, Jason still, and he asked, will we have an Ello system to rank teams? Will certain weapons loadouts be restricted? The second part I'm not very happy about seeing, but the first part, I think Ello is probably, we're going to have some type of skill-based match.
Yeah, it'll all center around that tournament mode idea, which is you as a team, and you guys will be ranked, and you'll be matched against other people that are of the right skill level for you, and If you get into things like solo queue, then we can find you a team that's the right thing. So under the hood, there will be some sort of Elo type system. Elo, by the way, being the mathematical way that they give rankings. You can Google it and it'll tell you all about that for any math nerds out there. But what's displayed to the player, we don't entirely know yet. Like, so under the hood, there'll be some kind of mathematical system that matches correct people together. From the player's point of view, we don't know if you're going to be looking at like a 4-digit number that you're rating, or like ladders that you go up and down, or something like belts like karate. That's a terrible idea. That's a horrible idea. We're not doing that one. But yeah, like that sort of thing, right?
This is also if you could just elaborate on the competitive gaming goals for the game. That's a question for Ian, I think. I want Ian to answer.
The competitive gaming goals for the game is, well, Ian could probably go into even more detail, but big picture, in 3 years, in 2 years, in a year and a half, in 1 year, in half a year, however ambitious I want to be here, I want to go to PAX and I want to see a competitive Loadout game up on the big screen with commentators and 2 pro teams playing it against each other. Like that's what I want to see. That's where we're angling for Loadout, and that there'll be teams that get together and talk about meta, and you can go on to some sort of wiki, and you can look and see what roles you might be able to play and what weapons are good for those roles and what equipment are good for those roles. And you can talk to other players and try to come together and form teams and talk about what strategies you can use. Like that's what we want to have happen. That would be badass.
That's the high level.
Yeah.
Big picture. I love that. I love hearing that. Will TDK, time to kill, be adjusted, or are we currently using the final damage model? I don't think there is a final damage model. So that question is automatically a yes.
So the approximate deadliness of weapons and how long it takes in a firefight to die is about right. Like it's not going to ever be like 3 times longer to kill somebody than it is now.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about. It probably won't get deadlier than it is right now.
It won't be lethal loadout.
Right.
Squishy loadout.
It might get less deadly depending upon what we need to have happen for like tournament. Tournament play is going to be a time where we really reconsider some things, because if it's too chaotic, then teams can't formulate any kind of strategies, and if it's too much of a grind, then it's just lame and not fun Loadout anymore. Right. So we need to find the right middle ground. Is that exactly where we're at right now? I have no idea.
He says he feels like in 1v1 situations, time to kill is at a very good level.
Cool.
However, outside of that, when things start to get real spammy, a lot of AoE, seems like I get gibbed a bit too quickly. Well, I will say this, as someone that has done competitive gameplay for a very, very long time.
Yep.
When he talks about 1v1. 1v1 situations in a team-based game are kind of few and far between. So your TDK is always going to feel about right when you're 1v1ing someone. As soon as you add team fire, communication, and you're fighting a 2v1 or 3v1,
then it's going to go faster.
You're always gonna die. Yep. So that's not going to change no matter what shooter you play, what game you're in. If you're outnumbered and they're communicating,
right,
you're gonna get owned.
Yeah, or in cases, and you see this sometimes too, like let's say it's a 3-on-3, like there's 6 players in one part and it's this dogfight skirmish. If one team is doing a good job of concentrating their fire on one dude, then they've now taken a communication advantage and translated that into a tactical advantage.
Right.
And that one guy is going to have an experience of just getting drilled straight down into the ground because that's what the other team decided they were going to do.
Right.
So that's going to happen. That's just going to happen.
Throw up some cryo fortifications.
Right. And again, yeah, our whole goal is to make a game that there will be counters to that and ways that you can respond to that in an intelligent manner. In-game VoIP is mentioned by Comrade on the chat here. That I know is on the feature list, and I believe it's connected to tournament right now. So we've got like kind of feature clusters that are all logically connected. So there's the tournament mode that's kind of logically connected to clans. It's kind of logically connected, I think, to in-game voice.
Okay.
So I believe that feature is right now connected to that cluster, and it's a high rank. Wait, B Stage is asking a serious question, so let's pay attention to that. He wants to buy a starter pack for the XP boost, but I don't want to spend the next 14 days of hard grinding levels to find out there's going to be a reset. Yeah. Okay, so tell you what. We've talked about this, and we know that if people pay money for an XP boost and then we reset levels, that sucks.
Right.
So what we're going to be doing is if there's ever level reset, and I think right now we're leaning towards there is a level reset, but not an equipment reset, right? I believe that's where we're at right now.
I'm not sure. I thought it was no level and stats.
Only like resetting only stats, but not level. Anyhow, this is a discussion that's going on.
It's constant.
If we reset your level and you have paid for XP boost, we will give you the XP boost. Like otherwise, that sucks. That's just us being lame if we don't do that. So if you've bought XP boosts, and even if you've already used them, if we reset level, you will start off with however many days of XP boost that you've ever bought.
Right.
Okay.
And I think we've gotten this question quite a bit on the forums and just on and off for our live streams. This is just one of those things, guys, where it's very difficult for us to make a 100% we're going to do this or we're going to do that because we have paying.
Yeah, and we don't want to screw anybody either.
Right.
So in cases like this where there's an obvious logical thing we can do that makes it right, we're going to do that thing. So in this case, like anybody with a brain says the obvious thing to do here is going to be they paid for an XP boost and then reset their level. Give them either the refund that or give them it back. That's what we're going to do. Right. If we ever announce plans and you feel like, hey, I'm getting screwed because of that, talk to us. Because if you're feeling that way, there's probably thousands of other people feeling that way. So get on the forums and talk to us about it. We've already changed some of the ways we're going to handle things because people pointed out problems in some of our plans.
Yeah.
Like we're not perfect and we're listening.
If someone isn't a closed beta tester, how come they have to purchase a starter pack to access the game? This is from Umbrello. Will it be free once it enters open beta?
So early access is a special Steam thing that we're using right now in order to we're on the open access Steam page. Like it's no longer hidden like it used to be when we were a secret closed beta.
Right.
So by going early access, we have a Steam page for the game, and people who are really, really interested in the game now have a way they can get in that's there in Steam and they can instantly get the game. So that's what early access is doing for us. Yes, we're charging money for that because otherwise it would be open. It would be launch, and we're not ready for launch yet. So that's why we're doing that. Once we go open beta, by definition, once early access is done, we're ready to go open, and then at that point, we are a free-to-play game, and we won't be in the early access section anymore. We will be in the free-to-play section on Steam, and then anybody who wants to play can play.
Right, and to add to that, we do not have a date.
We do not have a date.
Open beta. No date. You said maybe late summer, maybe.
Summer is what I was told is our best guess.
In the northern hemisphere, maybe. Good job. I'm back from holiday. What's this about? Founder pack.
What are you going to add X? Cryo will come before Poison.
Okay.
Closed beta players will get to keep playing the game. Yes, if you are playing Loadout right now, or you've got an activated beta key, then you're fine. You're in. You don't have to pay us any more money ever again if you don't want to. Everything's fine. Early access is only for people who aren't in yet, and people who don't want to wait for us to launch. Oh, Danny's in there, so he could answer maybe some questions about it. Hey, Danny, there was a question about Helga. when she's going to be ready. So if you've got anything you want to share, you got some people in the chat there that are definitely interested.
And that is DP Matson in there. So Zetchi asks, oh, wait. I missed. Man, there's a lot of new questions in there.
There's a lot of questions coming in. That's cool.
Okay. I think we answered that one.
Yep. Cryo and Helga, yep. Will there be another Crash the Server event in the near future? That's a good question. That was a very useful thing for the tech guys on the server side to be able to say, hey, community, help us try to crash the server.
Right.
Will they want to do that again before we go open? I bet you they will.
Probably.
So there might very well be another one of those events where we go, hey, everybody, please try to help us crash the servers. Yeah. That was good. That was awesome, and the community really helped us out there. So I imagine if they ever need that again, they'll ask for it, and we'll do it.
So someone's called us out on this one. I think I saw a couple of these. So on Steam, on the early access page, there's screenshots of camos.
Oh.
Don't know if it fits here, but when will they be released?
It's for the weapons. He's talking about weapon skins. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago that we did a preview of weapon skins, and it was very early. It wasn't ready yet. Some people said, "Hey, that looks badass," and other people were like, "That doesn't look very good."
Right, that doesn't look finished.
Because we showed it really early, right? So, yeah, we know we were showing it super early. So I'm not entirely certain where that feature is in terms of whether it's ready to go yet. It's functional. Is it pretty and awesome and we're ready to make it a full-featured thing? No. When will it be? Once again, Danny probably knows better than I do where that might be.
Is there going to be cross loadout and TF2 stuff? This question is cropped up kind of a bit. So
right.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think... So anytime you ask us about our company or our game, we just tell you. Like, we don't have a publisher, and honestly, we don't give a crap, so we'll just tell you the honest answers.
Right.
Like, there's been a lot of people asking us stuff, and we just give an answer, and people are kind of surprised, to be honest. Anytime you're involving a different company, there's legal issues in terms of whether or not I can say things on what time, and I don't always know what those things are. Right. So I've worked games before, a lot of games before, where we had a publisher. I've even gotten into trouble for saying things from a publisher. I had to publicly apologize even once for giving information out that I shouldn't have given.
Remember, guys, I want to have all the knowledge on Mark Now on the forums.
If you could, it would be interesting to see if people could guess what I had to apologize for. But so if you're asking me about Loadout and TF2 stuff, that is a good idea. I can't tell you anything about that.
I said me. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because we could see. Zetchu says, will we be seeing weapon balance updates soon? That is...
Loadout is on Steam for $14.99, it says.
Oh, nice.
Is that the right price?
No.
I hope that's not true. I think that's something might be going wrong if that is the truth.
That is the case.
If that is the case,
that could be a typo.
It could be a typo. Wait, no, he put it twice.
Oh, pounds?
Oh, pounds. Oh, got it. Okay. Thank you. Phew, you kind of freaked me out a little bit. I was going to say jump on that before they catch it.
Zetchi asked, will we be seeing weapon balance updates soon? We kind of talked about that a bit ago. Albino Gorilla's
in there. We had a scheduled meeting for actually this time here. Albino Gorilla and I did. And I was just basically going to tell him that some of the hard data supports what he already knows. So I know that he's got a lot of weapon balancing stuff that he's got planned. And I think that's, now that we're on early access and we got past kind of shipping that, I imagine that he is going to be very active on getting that done. But on the other hand, the other thing that's taking up his time is making sure that Cryo works. So unless he's going to work 24 hours a day, which...
I want that Cryo.
That's messed up.
24 hours a day. Yeah, you heard me, Walter.
Yeah.
24 hours a day, buddy. Cryo. Swash asks, when will I get my Crash to the Server t-shirt? If you have not gotten your t-shirt, please email support@loadout.com.
We'll hook you up.
And we will check to
we'll check and verify, and then we'll hook you up.
And then we'll hook you up.
Somebody said, we got another question, when's open beta? Open beta is going to happen when we feel the game is ready for it. If you forced me to guess and you forced me to take a bet, I would put the over-under on July 24th.
I'm going to say September 24th.
Wow, you're even more pessimistic? You think it would be the very last day before it's no longer summer? Right now our best guess is sometime during summer is open beta.
September 22nd, I believe, is the last day of summer.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That's your guess. That's not a bad guess. You're already learning. He's been doing game dev for not very long, and he's already learning how it works.
I don't know how to... Schlam crab?
Schlammenkrabbe.
I'm a bit confused. Do you have to buy a pack to be able to play
Yes.
via early access.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Now, if you're already in the game, then you can ignore early access and everything's fine. If you, right now as a player, are like, hey, I want to play this game and I don't know how to play this game, the answer is you go to Steam, you buy an early access pack that comes along with access to the game.
Right.
You'll get a starter pack, you'll get a bunch of stuff in game, so it's not like you're just paying to get in. You're buying a starter pack, and in addition to that, you get to get in the game. And the reason we're doing that is because we're not ready for open yet, but early access gives us a way to let people in now who really want to be in. Okay. Yeah, like I can butcher any foreign language you like. My French is also really bad.
Will there be another wipe? We just touched on that. It's hard to say.
Yep.
Noam. I never get his name right.
Are you happy about the early access? But the private hipster bubble will pop, and a lot of new people we don't know will come.
Private hipster bubble. I like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it. Look, from our point of view, we want millions of people playing this game, all right? We want to do that in a way that makes sense, so we don't want to flood you guys with a bunch of noobs who are going to come in and get stomped or not understand the game.
And then come on the forums.
And complain and basically swamp everything so it's garbage.
And have you guys explaining to them
exactly,
why you're wrong.
Exactly.
I've seen it all already.
So early access, we feel like, is a good part of our ramp. Our ramp was we gave out keys kind of by hand, and that was early on to get some core people going and to find out what the game's going to build a community. And we got that now. We've got a great community with some awesome people. And now I think the next part of the ramp is early access, where we're letting on people who have indicated by paying money that they're serious about the game. And then at some point in the future, I think the community will be ready to handle an influx of free-to-play noobs. That's always going to be the toughest step, I think, for any free-to-play game, is when you just totally throw it open and say, everybody come on in.
Right.
I know TF2 went through a rough patch there where that was the way it was. I think we've got a lot of stuff going for us in terms of how to handle that, especially with our leveling system and our tournament play, where people who want to go in and kind of help out and help people who are noobs figure out how to play the game can do that, and those who kind of want to live in a tournament competitive bubble and don't want to get involved with any of that can do that too.
Right.
So I think the way we've got everything planned out, it's all going to work perfectly, and nobody should worry about anything.
There are some people that will pop
something will go wrong, though.
Something will go wrong.
That's just them talking to each other. And then somebody wants to change their name or what name is being used in Steam. I can't answer. That's a technical issue between our game and Steam, and I'm not sure I understand how that works.
In terms of name changes, we may give the opportunity to change names here really soon.
Yeah, I'm told there's
Clark was actually asking me.
Yeah,
about that.
He asked us if we wanted it. We're like, yes, we definitely want that. Letty, if we do store keys, then it's going to be one time only. Now, that means I probably won't be posting them just sort of naked in the chat the way I used to do with beta keys. So probably the way I'll do store keys is we'll be doing quizzes, or I might save a few to hand out to people who are helping and asking intelligent questions or giving intelligent answers. Some combination of that stuff. I won't just be typing them to chat the way I used to, because
I just have to say, my name is pronounced Noam BHS.
Noam BHS. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And then there's some questions about maps and if we're going to have extra maps. There's another map being developed for tournament play, and that right now is what T-Bone, our level editor, is working on, or our level designer, I should say. There's also level artists that work on making it awesome looking.
I've actually played that map, and I had a very good time. So that's it for questions.
Okay, let me hold on. Banus had to clarify something. It looked like it was 21 days of. Got it. Yeah, all right. It looks like Banus actually covered that totally, which is part of what I'm talking about with our awesome community. Banus, one of our deputies. He's not on the dev team, but he fills in and answers questions and helps people out like a freaking champion. Thank you, Banus, or however the heck that name is pronounced.
He said Bigness.
Banus.
Like
Bigness.
So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this stream here very shortly, and I'm going to link everyone in the chat. I would pull it up, but I didn't have the video on this computer yet.
Okay.
So I didn't quite get it So I'm going to link everyone in the chat. We're going to sign off after this. You guys can watch this right now. That is a link to the early access trailer. That is on our YouTube channel, and it's also on our main page on the website. So it says we are now in early access if you guys go to loadout.com.
Yeah, our badass trailer.
And yeah, you guys with Ty's hard work.
Yep.
Lots of Danny and Rob, they've all helped contribute to make this absolutely awesome. All the QA team was in there helping.
Yep.
So
yep. Yeah, QA team especially
this was
to film it.
Very major production. So I hope you guys enjoy that trailer, and you guys can follow Mark at Mark Now. Ask him more creative director questions.
I will answer like game design questions all day long if you want me to. I will spew information about game design in general, or if people want to get into the game dev business, I can tell you not to do it or give you other helpful advice. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that either. So yeah, definitely you can hit me up on Mark Now.
And when Mark's in the chat, if you guys want to get some extra goodies, mail over some Mountain Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew. I can't drink
the studio.
I can't drink the
and
full sugar
just
stuff.
Address it to Mark with your name or gamer time. I'm sure you'll.
I will guarantee I'll hook somebody up. I might even let you on my Terraria server if you hook me up with some goodies.
So
thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And remember, we're in Steam on early access. We will have this video posted on YouTube. If you guys want to have any more questions, you can ask them on the forums, and I will make sure to find that answer.
And then Walter and I have got a quick weapon balancing meeting, and then I'm going to jump on some pub servers. I don't know. Are you going to jump on and play the game after this?
We'll see how much work I have to do.
All right.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tune in Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.
Live stream. Later.
Awesome.